John and Lemon, we're feeling our best. Talking shop, but taking it slow. Crafting life as we go. From laughs to tools, from brews to skies, we're squeezing joy, no need to try. It's life with a twist of lemon. Two best friends and a vibe you can lean on. Tales, ideas, and a pinch of delight. We're bringing sunshine day or night. It's life with a twist of lemon. Two best friends and a vibe you can lean on. Tales, ideas, and a pinch of delight. We're bringing sunshine day or night. Life with a twist. Life with a twist. Life with a twist of lemon.
Jonathan, every individual on this earth, and I mean everyone, man, woman, child, all of them, need to have a strap wrench. Do you know what a strap wrench is, Jonathan?
I believe I do. I definitely do not own one.
All right. You need to go out and you need to buy one, okay? This thing has come in handy more times than I can count. And tonight we were in mission critical zone. So for those that don't know, a strap wrench is quite literally a strap with like a tightening system on one end and a handle. So you strap it around a thing and then you can use it like a wrench, right? That's the premise. It's not rocket science. It is a gift from God.
Okay.
Okay.
What could you not get undone?
Well, we'll get there. So the first time I ever used a strap wrench was actually for an oil filter on a car. Borrowed one from a friend. And at that point in time, I should have bought one, John. I should have bought one, but I didn't.
And you had bought like one of those oil filter wrenches before that, right?
Yeah. And those things are stupid.
Yeah.
They're dumb. I ended up, I think pure muscle sweat and swearing got me through the first oil filter. The second time that I needed a strap wrench was ironically for an oil filter as well. This was during the pandemic. Strap wrenches were sold out. And so I bought the Death Grip of God wrench, which is, I mean, it destroys an oil filter on the way off, but it works, right?
Yeah.
The third time I needed a strap wrench was for my reverse osmosis filters. And I'm confident that's the next time I'm going to need them. I know for a fact that will be the next thing I need to use it on. But tonight, because I texted you, right? I asked, what are you having for a drink for tonight's recording? And you told me.
I was going to make an old fashioned with the.
Wait. What do you mean was?
That's what I told you I was going to do, but it is right here. I did, in fact.
Okay. All right. So. See, all right, Pat. All right, folks. Shall we do a grammar lesson on
this? This is why editing is important. But
no kidding. Yeah. All right. So I thought
anyways,
to myself, I should also make a Manhattan, right?
Okay.
I was not sure that I had whiskey of any kind. All right, which is an unusual state for my house to be in. But I had been on a tiki craze not too long ago. Mostly your fault. And
I didn't even get to taste the fruits of this being my fault.
You will have your moment. You will have your moment. Okay. So I got home and I started digging through the cabinet, right? Trying to find my whiskey. And it turns out that I had an unopened bottle of Woodford Reserve in the back. Normal Woodford,
nice.
Mixing Woodford, right? Mixing Woodford.
Mixing Woodford, sure.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, good. I'm halfway there. Now, I had also bought the most expensive bottle of sweet vermouth that Total Wine had, and I have never used it. I bought it for tiki stuff and did not put it into motion because I had 16,000 other things for tiki. So I was like, okay, great. I got Woodford, right? Pretty decent bourbon. And then I got this higher end sweet vermouth. I am on the road to success. So I don't have Luxardo's cherries at the moment. Shame on me, right? I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed to admit that. I feel like this is a bit of an intervention, so I will tell you I did not have Luxardo cherries in the house.
You can be upset with that. I, on the other hand, am cheap. So, like, you can buy filthy cherries too.
Well, so that's what I had.
Okay.
So I had a jar of filthy cherries for tiki purposes. And I could not for the life of me get this thing open.
I have run into that with those jars too.
It was awful. I hope that someone on the internet who works for Filthy Cherries will listen to this. Your containers suck. Like they're awful. I don't know what it is because um I thought that it was like sugar, right, encrusting. And
Sure.
I'm using one of those jar grippies, and I have a rubber or silicone, whatever it is, oven mitt,
Yep.
right? So jar in one hand, I got the grippy on the top, and John, I don't think I'm weak. Like my wrists aren't the strongest, right? I know
Sure.
that. I'm
But
aware.
you open many jars throughout the
I
course of
opened
the
many
week.
jars. I opened jars last weekend and I had no problem, right? So, like, what's a little sugar going to do to stop me?
Right.
Um, that jar wrecked me, man. Like it conquered me, and I didn't know what to do. And so then I got to thinking about like quite literally tools in my toolbox. And at first I was like, "Oh, the vise is out because Henry's been using the vise. I'll just put the jar upside down in the vise." But then I'm like, "No, that's a bad
No,
idea,
that's a bad
right?"
idea.
Yeah, and you're not gonna put the vise on the glass side either. So I ruled
Yeah.
that out. I went to
Okay,
the
smart decisions were made.
yeah, smart decisions right. So then I went to the death grip claws, right, that I used to destroy the oil filter. And I was like, all right, I might be able to get the lid off, but I won't ever get the lid back on. If I do it on the glass side, it's going to break. Cherries are lost.
Yep.
So then I remember that my sweet youngest had asked me before my 40th birthday what I wanted. And she had no idea what a strap wrench was, but I said strap wrench, right? Not because I needed a strap wrench in that moment, but I knew that a moment would come when I would need a strap wrench because everybody will have that moment, right?
Yep.
So I reached into the toolbox and I pulled out the strap wrench, Jonathan.
Yeah,
You know what?
it worked
No, it did
because you
not.
need two of them.
I have to. I have to.
Okay.
At this point, I'm like, okay, vice grip and strap wrench, and I'm about ready to just say Manhattan no cherries, which is not a thing. Like you cannot have a
Correct.
Manhattan without cherries, right? Key
I
ingredient.
agree.
At best, I'm left with bourbon and sweet vermouth. Okay. So I put the whole thing under hot running water and it popped right off.
Interesting. So it was sugar?
I don't know. I don't like John. It was under the faucet for like 30 seconds at most.
And then
I think it takes longer for sugar to melt. So I don't like in my heart of hearts, I want to believe that the strap wrench loosened everything up. Okay. Because that's what makes me feel good about this whole incident. I don't know if that's true. And I can't go back in time. I cannot ascertain whether or not the strap wrench did it, the hot water did it, or anything. Like I don't know.
So the current jar that I have, I've not had any problems with. The one before this, I did, and I kind of felt like it was cross-threaded or not threaded correctly. But it was a pain every single time I tried to get it off.
Honestly, there's a non-zero chance that after we're done with this call, I eat all of the cherries in the jar so that I don't ever have this problem again.
All right.
Okay.
You
Like
could
I might
just,
sit down and
like
eat them
pour them into a mason jar or something.
or Tupperware. But yeah, listen.
Tupperware. Sure.
Your point is valid and sensible. Mine is fueled by rage, and I just sometimes I need to feel heard.
You remember where we found out about Filthy Cherries, right?
Yeah, we were on the boat. We were on. Sorry, I'm sorry. The Disney folks actually take offense to this when you say boat. We were on the ship.
Ship. Disney Dream. I believe it was at the district bar when we
Was at
asked
the
them,
district
hey,
bar.
what
Yeah,
cherries do you use? Because these taste pretty darn good.
right. Because I mean, I assumed Luxardos to be honest with you, but they were not. So, Jonathan, that was how I got here. And again, I feel like this is a PSA for humanity. Go buy a strap wrench. You don't need one today. You might not need one tomorrow, but the day will come when you will need a strap wrench, and it will make you smile. Because like even in my rage with the filthy cherries, I enjoyed using a strap wrench because a strap wrench is a great tool. Great tool.
There are many tools that I have bought because you told me that I needed them. Most of them have served me well. The one I bought when I needed it because I didn't listen to your advice beforehand. But that was a ladder and a sawzall are the two big ones that stand out.
Sawzalls, like they're just handy, man. I mean, and again, there's some tool. I don't like to buy stuff that I'm not going to use, right? So
Right.
I'm pretty much a just-in-time purchaser for most things. When it comes to tools, though, there are tools that you will need in your darkest moments, and you do not have the luxury of going to the Lowe's or the Home Depot, and sometimes it'll be in the dead of night too. A Sawzall is one of those things where you may need to get something out of the way, cut a pipe, you may need to cut down a tree, whatever, but it will be horrifically inconvenient when you need to do it to go to the store, right? It'll kill the momentum. So it's just good to have.
Like when a tree falls on your roof in derecho and the power's out for a week. I was real glad I had my ladder to go up and tarp off some of the water so it stopped coming in.
There you go. Tarp. A tarp is actually one of those things,
Tarp
right?
is
Like
a
if you don't have a tarp in your possession right now, go buy it when you get the strap wrench, right? Tarp, strap wrench, boom.
Ladder, if you're a
Ladder.
homeowner.
Yeah. Here's another thing too. Do you have like just a thing of rope laying around?
I don't know if I currently do. There might be some in the
You gotta
garage.
get some rope, man. I'm telling you, that, like this is another one of those things that there's something that's going to go seriously wrong, and you're going to wish you had rope. I've got a big old. I think it's 100 yards. 100 yards? No, that's a lot. 100 yards would be a lot. 100 feet? No, it's more than 100 feet. Maybe it's 200 feet, 250 feet, something like that, of rope just sitting on my shelf, right? And I've had it. It's been sitting there for 5-6 years. Haven't used it. When I need it, it will be there, right? And it's like a flashlight, right? How many times do you actually need a flashlight?
Not often, but I've been thinking about buying one for when I'm taking the dog for a walk after work and it's pitch dark outside.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a use case. That's like a valid use case. But in general, right? You want a flashlight when the power goes out, right? And it means it's got to be charged too. People buy stupid flashlights and think that it's going to be great for a 2-hour power outage, right?
Yep.
And you've got to buy a legitimate flashlight. You're not going to use it every day, but it's got to be there.
Got to be
I
there.
don't know.
Should probably have batteries on hand.
Batteries. Even more than that, like the flashlight has to be charged, right? So people can knock on MagSafe, Maglite. No, Maglite. MagSafe is the thing on my phone. Maglite. All they want, right? The big heavy metal ones.
Yep.
Those suckers, when you need them, if you've left them plugged in, are gold. They are exceptional. But people don't want to like spend a little bit extra for a great flashlight.
I don't know how I feel about battery or flashlights that you have to plug in.
I mean, it's a little charging thing, right?
Okay.
Battery lasts longer. It is what it is. Just deal with it. It'll be fine.
Fair enough.
People put batteries in these flashlights, right? And then they like start leaking battery acid and blah blah blah, and they ruin it.
And then the flashlight doesn't work.
Yeah. The Maglite, the one that I've got, it's got like an integrated lithium ion battery, and so it sits on the charger. When I need it, I pop it off. It's good to go. It's not a big deal, but it's super useful.
I feel like we should link this in the show notes.
I can definitely dig up. I have 3 Maglites. Man, I keep wanting to say MagSafe today. I have 3 Maglites. I love them all. One of them I actually keep in my laptop bag. It's a little itty bitty one.
Nice.
Yeah, that sucker's been handy. You know when that came in handy the first time? I was on a ship in the middle of the Caribbean and I needed a flashlight because my phone wasn't plugged next to me because I got the side of the bed that didn't have the outlet, right?
Did they solve that on the newer ships? I haven't sailed on newer ships.
Yeah. In fact, okay. I think even the Wonder has got more outlets than the Dream. Yeah, like the Dream. I don't know.
The Dream is bad.
Yeah. The Dream is bad. They
as
were
far
not
as charging things. The Dream is a beautiful ship.
So. Yeah, it's an amazing ship. I love it. I love everything about it, except for having to charge stuff. But the counter like argument to all this is the designers of the Dream wanted you to vacation and recognize that the best way to do that is with a dead phone.
Which was great until you had to use your phone for everything.
So that's been fixed though. Remember, like the first time we were on a cruise ship, you had to use it to look at the menu.
You did at the menus, yeah.
Now they give you the menu.
All of the programming stuff is still in the app, right?
Yeah, but it is. Here's the thing though. If you so there's 2 things that you can do to not use your phone to get the programming. One, you walk around the boat because it's quite literally posted everywhere. You go to the Walt Disney Theater, you can see what's going on, right? So not rocket science. You just got to use your 2 feet. The other thing is they do those announcements, right? Midday. And they will tell you everything you need to know. And then there's option 3, which is just live like a lily, and you walk into some place and you catch half a movie and it's okay. You know?
All right. I'm with you. I need to book another cruise. You have several booked at this point, don't you?
Just two. Just two.
Just two. A couple. So.
A couple. Yeah. Yeah, a couple. Not a Chicago couple, a couple. Right? For those that don't know what a Chicago couple is, you just look on the internet. It's like we say a couple and we could mean two or more. Right?
Okay.
Which my wife will remind me, like, Stan, we are a couple. Couple is not you, me, and John, right? That's three people, right? So anyhow.
Correct.
Yeah.
That example has probably been used too. So.
Yes, it has multiple times. Right now, John, you and I, we're recording as a couple. I mean, okay, that sounds weird. You get what I'm saying, though. It's two. It's just two. It's not more than two, right? Here's the funny thing too. If you spend any time in my native land, right, you will hear people.
He's talking about.
Yes,
he's from Chicago.
You will hear people say a couple, and it is an indeterminate number of things. The only thing you know about a couple is that it is more than one.
A couple, two, tree.
Yeah, something like that. You know. Oh my gosh, man! All right, so
this is nothing that we were supposed to talk about. I see that you have the Manhattan. It looks like you stirred it and then strained it into your glass. No, there's a giant ice cube. Okay,
there's a giant ice cube. I'm not gonna lie to you. I completely eyeballed this one. I poured into the glass and I used a spoon, stirred it real quick. It was the spoon that I used with the cherries. So I poured in bourbon. I was like, looks good. Poured in the sweet vermouth. Looks good. Got the filthy cherries. Sorry, not dirty cherries. Filthy cherries open. And I used the spoon to scoop out two of them, right? Because only heathens make Manhattans with one cherry.
I think that there's maybe it's olives and martinis where you're supposed to do one or three because two is bad luck. We should probably look those up.
That's fine. I'm just telling you that if you make a Manhattan and you only put one cherry in, it's not a Manhattan, and your life is sad.
This is interesting because I don't know if I agree with this because I will often use a one cherry. So,
well, maybe your life is sad, John.
Probably.
All right. Okay. So I'm a big believer in two cherries, right, with a little bit of syrup, right, to chase it. So I use the spoon and then I just stirred it. Right. Because I was in a rush, man. I had to get back here to do the podcast because I was already late because I checked in on work stuff because I ducked out of work a little bit early to go to Pilates class, which is a story in of its own, in and of itself. Excuse me. Blah. And my manager was messaging me. So it was a whole thing. I didn't want to drop off right away. Go to make the Manhattan. That's a whole stressful experience, as I've already described. Go buy strap wrenches. And after I drop the cherries in, I do 3 or 4 swirls. I reach into Mrs. Lemon's fancy ice maker on the fridge, and I got one of those spherical ice cubes. Right? Nice. And I dropped it in, and I literally did this. So you for the listener who can't see this, I shook the glass. Yeah, and I'm good to go. Right. I think the vermouth and the bourbon is blended enough that I'm not going to care. Here we are.
Yep. And my guess is you probably got your proportions right, but it's probably larger than a standard Manhattan would be.
It could be larger than a standard Manhattan.
Although you get pretty good at this if you use the same glass every time you mix Manhattan. So.
Yes. And that is absolutely key. I think the other thing too, you and I have talked in the past, maybe not in the podcast, but about the right proportion, right? What is actually good, whether or not you use sweet vermouth, dry vermouth, combination of them. And so this I would say is not overly sweet. Okay. It's sweeter than I would normally make it because I haven't used this vermouth much. I spent a lot for this vermouth, haven't used it. It's been sitting in the fridge, and I wanted to taste it a little more. So I'm getting more of a vermouth forward flavor in this Manhattan.
Is it good vermouth?
I like it. I like it better than the Martini Rossi. I have a little bit of Martini Rossi in the back.
Better than that. Better than Gallo, but
yeah. Well, here's the problem though. If you go, even the liquor store here closest to the house,
they've got the two,
both of them.
$3 to $6 sweet vermouth.
They just have Martini Rossi, man. That's it. And so when I went to Total Wine, I think there were 4 options, right? Martini Rossi was one, Gallo was the other. There's something else I can't remember. And then the one that I have, whose name I also don't remember, but I can look up on totalwine.com if we need. Anyhow, that one was the most expensive. I quite literally took a picture of it with ChatGPT and said, hey, what should I buy? And ChatGPT, who, there's probably like Big Liquor is probably in on GPT recommendations at this point. Basically told me, Stan, you like craft things, right? You like the finer things of life. You could go with the Martini Rosy, but you are more likely to notice the difference, the improvement in the top shelf sweet vermouth, and so you should do that, right?
Or at least you'll convince yourself that you can.
Bingo. Right now, ChatGPT is not going to tell me that because, again, I'm sure Sam Altman's he's probably on the payroll for Big Liquor and is trying to, sell me the fancy vermouth. But yeah, that was early ChatGPT. That was like not early ChatGPT, but it was 6 months ago, right? We were still
that was
living in
completely different things.
oh yeah, it was 4.0, right? Like half the recommendations were made up anyhow.
Right. And they aren't now.
They're less made up, right?
Who can play the game the best?
Who can play the game? Who can play the game? I surprised myself a little bit. I was asking ChatGPT today. So we're recording this on Wednesday the 19th. This is going to release almost a week later. It is what it is, folks. It's Thanksgiving. I'm traveling. It's crazy. So there's a little bit of a time delay.
Yeah, I will have probably seen you and left by the time this drops.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, absolutely. Unless we decide to release Tuesday. But anyhow, regardless, like this is about a week off. So as we're recording this, it is the night before NVIDIA will announce their quarterly earnings. Did you know that, John?
They announced them today, Stan.
No.
Yeah, I got the Robinhood notification.
I thought it was tomorrow.
NVIDIA is up 5% apparently.
Oh my gosh, John, I'm totally wrong.
You are. This wasn't even on the agenda. Otherwise, I would have called you out on it.
Holy!
They did beat earning expectations, though. So, yeah.
What was their forward-looking?
I didn't dig that deep.
Guidance.
I didn't dig that deep.
Okay, well, all right. The whole podcast has been blown up. We're going to talk about this. So this morning, I asked, like, should I sell some other stock? Is the market going to tank because of NVIDIA earnings? And I had a whole conversation, and I was surprised. ChatGPT actually gave me like pretty concrete advice about hold or sell. And its advice to me today, surprisingly, was because I gave it an exact number, and it told me to sell half of it today and half of it tomorrow.
Interesting.
Yeah. I thought it was very interesting. So I was worried that because, as NVIDIA goes, the rest of the market goes, it's like what, 5% of the S&P 500? Like it's an insane amount.
Crazy.
Yeah. And so I figured if NVIDIA, here's what I was expecting. And again, apparently I'm totally wrong. My sense of time is wrong. No one is surprised except me. If NVIDIA beat their earnings expectations, which I anticipated they would, that would be fine. But their guidance, right? So how they thought they were going to do roadmap for the next chip generation, all of that, I thought if it wasn't like spectacular, the whole market was going to correct negatively.
Yep.
It would appear that was not the case based upon
NVIDIA stock continuing to go up. So
yeah. So man, I tell you what, to work at NVIDIA, what a crazy ride that would be. But
for sure,
time of their life, right? It's got to be like those folks who were working at Apple in 2006.
Right.
I've been thinking a lot about that recently, just in terms of how exciting it is to see technology evolving so fast. So do you remember iOS 4?
Probably not.
So do you remember iOS 5?
So I got my first iPhone in 2008.
Okay. 2008.
iPhone 4.
So
right?
iOS 4 was in April 2010.
Okay. So maybe I do.
You probably do. So there was this moment in time, right? All right. Do you remember when skeuomorphic went the way of the dinosaur?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Everything up to skeuomorphic, it was like release to release, they were going to do something amazing, something cool, something big, something huge.
Yep.
And we were so underdeveloped in this space that every release, we actually couldn't predict what they were going to do.
Right.
Whether it was the hardware, whether it was the OS. And that was, I think it was exciting, Before that, the only experience I had of that was similar would have been the jump from like P2 to P3 to P4 for the Pentium chips, right?
Yep.
Pentium 2 was
Which is
gangbusters crazy.
which you have to experience. You can't see it.
No, you can't see it. But people talked about it in such a way as like, you're like, I have to go try this, right?
Yep.
And I remember visiting a friend and trying a Pentium 2 computer and being like, wow, this is next level. And then the Pentium 3 came out, and it was like even more mind-boggling. And then the P4 came out. And honestly, when the Pentium 4 came out, I believed that I would, and this is little Stan, right? This is like Henry, my son, like Henry level Stan, right? I believe that there was no universe in which we would ever need something more powerful than the Pentium 4, because it could just do so much,
Yep.
right? And here we are, and I have a smart Anchor charging hub on my desk that has a chipset that is more powerful than the P4. I'm sure. I don't know. I could be making it up, but it makes sense to me right now in this moment, so I'm going with it. Right?
All right. But for sure in your phone.
For sure on my phone. Yeah.
Apple Vision Pro and your watch.
My watch is doing loops around the P4. So it evolved so quickly that you couldn't guess what was going to come next. And the iPhone was like that too, right? We have
Early
not
days.
had that. We have not had that for a long time. And so every iteration of LLMs, of AI, is amazing. It's incredible. Like it's almost breathtaking. And again, this is going to drop a week late, but as we record this, Gemini 3 just dropped. If you zoom out in the landscape of AI LLMs, there's just 3 big players, in my opinion. Okay. We can argue about Grok here in a minute, but you got ChatGPT, OpenAI, right?
Yep.
They are the clear leaders in every way, shape, and form. First to market, they clearly have the biggest penetration. I think, me personally, I think they have the best multimodal experiences today, right? The vision stuff, solid. The conversational, like the voice conversation stuff, unbelievable. The chat stuff, good, right? The coding stuff, great. They actually just today, as we talk about this, so GPT 5.1 came out a few weeks ago. Today they released like a specialized new Codex model. So they're like this stuff is.
I haven't been in Codex today.
Yeah, this stuff is so fast. I actually have a problem with Codex. So I'm going to sidebar. I have a long running session, right? And we've been doing good work, me and Codex.
Yep.
But it doesn't have the new model in the session I'm going on. If I end the session, I don't have a good way to resume where I left off. So the struggle is real. I'm trying to
I think that you could figure out a good way to end the session and pick up again.
Probably, but my pattern with Codex lately has been go do this thing. I'm going to go do 10,000 other things, and then I'll come back to you, right? Okay. So I need more than the 90 seconds that I'm going to talk to Codex about in order to do that. But I digress. All right.
You can find it. I believe
Gemini is the third. Oh, sorry. I was only talking about ChatGPT. We didn't even get into Claude. Anthropic, right? So Claude is the number 2 contender, I believe. And I would say that Claude is a decent ask question type of interface. When you get to the coding, up until recently, it's been phenomenal. We talked about the coding thing. And then you've got Gemini, right? Which is the secret sleeper to all this. And I would say Gemini 2.5 was decent. Like I didn't mind doing work queries through Gemini, right?
Okay.
Gemini 3 is supposed to blow everything out of the water. It's supposed to be faster. Do you know what the thing that set Gemini apart, like even before 3? Do you know what the feature was, the killer feature?
Context window.
Mm-hmm. Ding, ding, ding. I thought it was going to take a little longer. 1 million tokens, right? If I recall. So the idea
3, right? That was new. No, they upped it in 3. In 2 they had
it? 2.5 had a big window, right? So, you can do more longer, yada, yada, yada. Awesome. Gemini 3 comes out, apparently a better model. And then maybe the clutch thing is Google, who has Gemini Code Assist, which is the Claude Code Codex comparable. Yep. They decided they're going to go toe-to-toe with not just those guys, but the cursors, the windsurfs, which, by the way, they also did a talent grab on windsurf. Might have something to do with this next announcement. which is Antigravity,
Yes.
right? Full blown IDE, VS Code based. No one's surprised. I think they're going for Cursor. Cursor is the big contender in this space. This is kind of an exciting week in AI, in my opinion, right?
It is. I do not have a lot of experience with Gemini, but basically, when you put this on our list of topics to talk about, I looked, and I'm intrigued.
So about a month ago, I did an experiment. Each day, I oscillated between Codex, Claude, and Gemini Code Assist. And I will say that Claude was spectacular. Codex was the cool kid on the block, and Gemini Code Assist was very clearly trying to catch up. I got to go back and try Gemini Code Assist, but I did download Antigravity. Antigravity.
It looks so cool, man.
I think this came out yesterday. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So I installed it within hours of the announcement on my personal laptop, in case anyone from work is listening, just on my personal laptop. And I decided to run a couple of experiments. It seems promising. Okay. So it wasn't like a knock it out of the park kind of thing. Here's what was cool though. Do you remember the first time I sent you a GitHub Copilot agent task that included screenshots on the PR?
I do.
Yeah. That was cool, right?
It is cool.
To be able to see the UI change. So I watched Antigravity kick up a custom Chrome and do a visual analysis of the change I was asking to make.
Mm-hmm.
And then adapt based like it. So one of my problems was, hey, this looks great on my iPhone 17 Pro Max, but on my daughter's iPhone 11, the scrolling is screwed up, right? And I kid you not, I watched his Antigravity based upon the prompt, resize the window to iPhone 11 screen dimensions.
Nice.
And detect the problem, right? And I purposely did not give it a lot of detail in the prompt beyond this, like my daughter can't see which team to root for on Pick'em on her iPhone 11. That was what I said, right? And it figured it out, man. And it iterated on it, and I watched the whole thing go. There's something, whatever they've done, they've taken the capabilities of a editor like Cursor, the smarts of something like Claude Code, and they've mirrored it with basically the agent capabilities that we're seeing in stuff like Atlas and Perplexity's Comet.
Yep.
All in a planning and executing experience.
So I watched the intro video, which was pretty great, like the basics or whatever. And just going from like your agent configuration, you can go into the editor if you want to, which it seems like ideally maybe you never want to. The whole testing agent, going through and actually doing like UX testing and doing it in the browser, and then this walkthrough where it basically summarizes, hey, this is what I did, and here's the screenshot as kind of the recap. There is super powerful, and I think that it takes specifically some of your hobby stuff to a new level because you can do it all in a prompt or with multiple agents running at the same time, and go from there. So it looks super cool. I'm interested. Right now, it is in public preview for $0. I'm very interested to see what this looks like after that.
For $0, and the limits are super generous. So they like, this is a throat punch to Cursor, to Claude, and to Codex, because what their limits are such that I really have no compelling reason to go try the others, right? And already like Codex is pretty competitive in my opinion. Claude is a little lagging here. I think I posted about that on LinkedIn. I'm happy to go into all of that again, but they absolutely went for the jugular. Like, I'm fascinated to see how it plays out.
And it's Google, so
Google. Yeah, they're still printing money, right? They're still printing money.
Still
all you
printing money.
DuckDuckGo fans have not even put a dent in Google, right?
They've got how many like employees who would be users of things like this too, where they can gather feedback and go like that. It's
Oh,
crazy, man.
1,000%. I wonder what Sam's up to. What do you think the odds are that
Ooh, we
Sam
should talk to him.
listens to the podcast? Probably low.
Probably low. I don't know if he would have anyway, unless he's subscribed and we just showed up in his podcast feed again. But I don't know if he has any way to keep up with where we post.
Yeah. If Sam, if you happen to listen, I'd love to know. I mean, you probably can't tell me. You're probably under like 17,000 different NDAs. But I would love to know if you have tried the new anti-gravity and how it works internally. So just let me know. Just let me know.
How is the code, Stan? Have you done it a lot?
Well, limited experience. What I would say is the things I did, it was succinct and narrowly focused.
Okay.
And that's a good thing considering some of the ways that Claude in particular has gone off the rails. Codex used to go off the rails. It's been like honed in pretty well, but yeah, it did exactly what it needed to do, and it didn't get inspired to go do more, right? And so that in and of itself is a feature, and I'm pretty pleased with it. I got to do some more. Like it's pretty early days.
No.
I
I think
need
the
I need
I think
I need to go build a project, like a soup to nuts project. Sorry. Yeah.
go finish your thought.
Well, what I really need is because all I did was a go patch this thing that's broken. I need to start from a vanilla project and see how it works, right? And I haven't had the time to do that. So early days. That's what I'd say. Early days.
The other thing that caught my eye in like this video that I watched, I haven't actually gotten in on the. I did download and install it, but I haven't done anything in it yet. Was this comment injection thing where you like send it off on this prompt, but then you can like add something while it's running. It's like, oh, and change the title while you're at it, or do something like that, and then it like puts it into sequence where it makes sense, and it kind of adds into this. Did you see anything like this?
I have not tried that yet.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, I can only imagine. I'm sure it's great, right?
I think that part of what you do though is you have good plans and you have kind of the whole thing to do sequentially.
I think I have decent plans. And I have to have them because you don't have the ability to insert yourself into the middle of thinking, right? And so that's where the common injection thing. I think that's the intention, right? Is like to be able to collaborate with it midstream. Could be huge. It's I think it's novel. I don't know anybody else that's doing it that way.
Right.
So
Well, even just like in the chat interface in ChatGPT, I have all these times where it's like composing its reply, and it's like, oh, I need to change
you
something,
actually
and you
can't
can't
hit the button
interrupt
to
it.
send. Yeah, you
Right.
can't. Yeah. So, and this actually I think is a good segue. So I think we have there's a model training arms race. There's an inference arms race. There's an efficiency arms race. The next thing is when these things just become good at answering questions. Then we start to do a features arm race. Comment injection is a features arm race. Eventually, just like the war, the race, whatever, between iOS and Android, we will run out of features to battle. And this has been on my mind. What happens when that occurs? I think we wind up in ecosystem and integration wars, right? And Google has a huge heads up, huge just advantage in that. So they can be behind on Gemini. I don't think they're actually behind in terms of Gemini 3, just anecdotally, right?
Sure.
But there's a point where they turn this corner and they have critical mass because they have Docs, they have Gmail, they have Calendar, and they're just there. And now, reportedly, they have Apple too, right?
Yep.
And so, we're going to continue to do this song and dance with the LM race. But at a certain point, I think it's going to run its course and Google is going to be there with a really, really crazily integrated platform.
Yeah. And I think the other thing that Google does really, really well is they service both the consumer and the business, and will actually test things out on the consumer side before they can go, like make money on the business side.
Yeah, I can't remember if we talked about this last time, but they have this way of build something for consumer grade and then try and promote it into the business ecosystem. Microsoft does the complete opposite, right?
Yep.
They build a business grade platform and then they try to like push it down into consumer grade stuff.
Yeah, we
There's
didn't talk
pros and
about
cons.
Microsoft's AI at all.
Does Microsoft have an AI?
I believe so. I mean,
Yeah,
so Copilot does things. There's nothing
it does
as
things.
far as code writing and things like that, but I think they're also using some of the AI stuff in Azure and kind of at the enterprise clouds situation. So they could be a sleeping giant, but I think they are trying to accomplish something different than what Gemini, Claude, and OpenAI are trying to do.
How's your Windows phone doing right now?
Yeah, doesn't exist.
Yeah. All right.
Zune,
Zune. Yeah, you like your Zune?
right?
So here's my take. Copilot is a brand. It is not a technology. You go and look at GitHub, Visual Studio Code, maybe even Visual Studio if it ever finishes installing on my new Windows PC. And what you'll see is a multi-model approach. And actually, we talked about this last episode, the Decoder podcast. They actually talked to some folks from Microsoft within the last 6 months about all this, right? And Amazon too. They did the same thing. They hedged their bets on being able to do multi-model, which means they can use GPT, they can use Claude, and they can use whatever else comes to be, right? So if you go open up Visual Studio Code and you have a Copilot subscription right now, and you pop open the chat, Copilot chat, right? There's a way to select a model, and you are going to see a bunch of options. You're going to see GPT 4.1, you're going to see GPT 4.0, 5 mini, you're going to see Claude Haiku 4.5, Sonnet 4, Sonnet 4.5, Gemini 2.5 Pro, GPT-5, GPT-5 Codex preview, and even Grok Code Fast 1.
Got it.
You can also do auto and you get, like let it choose, right? That's just, you're setting yourself up for failure there. That's the bet that they've made on the developer side. Now, whatever is going on with the Windows side with Copilot, from what I've been able to tell, the reviews have been astonishingly bad. And that could change, absolutely could change. I chalk the whatever homegrown Copilot thing Microsoft is doing to Siri. So it is the hope of something better. It is unrealized potential, and it is generally a disappointment.
Interesting. Okay. The other one we didn't talk about, which also I think is in a different lane, would be Perplexity. Have you done anything with Perplexity?
I've used Perplexity. In fact, I may actually have Comet, their browser, installed right now. I'm not sure. Perplexity is a weird beast because they straddle all of the models, right? So you can go, I do have Comet. Just check that Comet installed right now. But they also supposedly have their own thing. And most of my experience with Perplexity, it's transparent in terms of what version, like what model you're using, right? They have leaned in heavily on search more than the other, modalities. I don't know whether or not we take them seriously or not, John, to be completely honest with you.
Okay.
There are some folks,
and only time will tell because we wait 2 months and everything shuffled
changes
again. So,
but here's the thing, though: folks that I knew 2 months ago who loved Perplexity, they're all in. Perplexity is one of these things. It's like what's a good niche movie that people Firefly? Okay, it's like Firefly. So those of us that watched Firefly, we believe that Firefly is the best science fiction ever written and put on screen. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And I love Star Trek. I like Star Wars. Firefly is the best, hands down. But that is a very, very niche perspective. That's where the Perplexity crowd falls into. And they're devout, right? Firefly has it hasn't been on the air for 20 some years.
Yeah,
Right?
we could be pushing 30 now. I'd have to see what
No,
year it
is it
was.
that long? Okay, all right. I'm gonna look this up while we go. But like, and I'm still sitting here telling you that even Strange New Worlds that I love, 2002. Holy mother of pearl! All right,
Okay.
2002, not
So
30
not
years,
30 yet.
not 30 years. But even Strange New Worlds that I love is second fiddle to Firefly, which is okay. But that's a very niche perspective, and I feel like the Perplexity camp falls into that bucket.
And
Those
really,
people,
the problem was Firefly didn't air long enough for Joss Whedon to mess it up. So
1000%. Listen, that's an entire season of this podcast that we could go into. Maybe we should actually spin up a sub podcast that's just analyzing Firefly, because I feel like we could do that
there
forever.
we go. Rewatch podcast.
Oh man, such a great show. Such a great show.
Stan, I think we need to do this. And like, I think we can do it as a sub brand.
Sub brand. So the Firefly Watchcast.
Sure.
Life with a twist of Firefly.
Do you think Finker would join us?
Is he still alive?
I
I'm
think
just
so.
kidding. I'm just kidding. I know he's out there. He absolutely would. He absolutely would. You know, so he's how I got into Firefly. He shows up at my house, I kid you not, in 2007, and he swears to me, because remember, he and I watched Star Trek in the dorms together. Like we bonded deeply over Star Trek. And he tells me that he's found a show greater than The Next Generation. And I tell him, you're a bald-faced liar, take it back. Right? And
Do you think that we should rename our group chat to the Browncoats?
Oh, I wonder how long it would take him to catch it. But he swore to me that it was the best thing since sliced bread, and he actually had me watch the show Serenity, or the movie Serenity, first, which was a mistake on his part.
Yeah,
mistake on his part. But we eventually then got back around to the show, and I didn't like Serenity until I watched the show twice through.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like the movie Serenity, sorry. But it was amazing, right? And you know, Finker loved Buffy. I think you like Buffy too, right?
I do like Buffy.
Yeah. Okay, I've seen half an episode of Buffy.
I liked Dollhouse too.
That's niche. That's crazy niche. That's more niche than Perplexity users, right?
Right. The problem with Dollhouse is it just never moved anywhere fast enough. So
yeah, well, Joss Whedon, he's just killing one franchise after another. Let him touch Star Trek, and it's all just done, right? Okay, so Perplexity. No, he didn't touch Star Trek.
That was
Abrams. Yeah.
Lens flare
But
guy.
he touched
He did Marvel.
Marvel, right? Yeah. Which I don't have time for that. We're not a Marvel podcast. We're not a Marvel podcast.
So far, we've been an AI podcast, which I guess is okay. There's just probably lots of those.
Is Liz listening? Have you heard? Is Liz listening?
I don't know. She liked the kind of teaser we put out on Facebook.
Everybody
was kind of shocked.
Teaser.
They were shocked that we were coming back because we kept it on the DL. So
I mean, I feel like it was kind of spontaneous. But anyhow, Liz, we're not going to do 16 weeks of Marvel or 32 weeks of Marvel or whatever it is, right?
I did watch Fantastic Four.
Oh, they did?
I did.
Oh, you did? Do you want to talk about it?
Not really. It was okay.
Not really. Yeah, I don't either.
But it was better than all the other Fantastic Four movies.
Yeah, but that's like saying, you know, I can't say
it was better than Voyager.
We're not gonna bleep this out, so I can't say what I was gonna say. Funny thing though, John, I just saw that the Fantastic Four movie is now available in 3D, and so you can watch it on the Vision Pro.
That's how I watched it.
Oh, it is. Oh,
yeah.
Shoot. God, so
that's cool.
I have long believed that 3D movies were a joke, right?
And they were
at best, 100%. You watch them on the Vision Pro, and you finally get it. Like it's exactly what you want it to be. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, we got to talk about the Vision Pro one of these too, because that happened during the hiatus.
Yeah, we'll have to wipe the dust off of the device first, though.
Dude, I use mine every week, mostly to watch things.
But I do too, but I feel like you went on a longer hiatus than I did.
Maybe.
All right. Okay, so Gemini 3, anti-gravity, cool stuff. Common injection. that could be that might be the killer feature. We'll see.
It was so cool, Stan. So cool.
I wanted, before we lose the plot here, you got to experience Codex going off the rails, I think, for the first time this week, right?
I did. And what's interesting here is I am not a software architect. I wouldn't land a job as a staff
Software
developer.
engineer.
Yeah.
Whatever, yeah. First, you got to know what the name is of the title that you're going for. But yeah, all right, you're doing fine.
Whatever. So like the code that I know has been Stan graciously walking me through relatively simple things, mostly on the web, not any heavy app development, things like that. So like Codex, mind boggling to me because like, hey, I can say what I want it to do and it goes and does it. So we were working on the Twist of Lemon Pod website, trying to do some SEO improvements, things like that, specifically around canonical URLs. So I said, hey, here's what I'm getting in Google Search Console. Go fix these things. And it does something that I thought was kind of weird. So with that technical knowledge, it's like, that doesn't seem like the right way to do it. At which point I tagged you in because I said, hey, Stan, this seems weird to me. So
Well, and what's funny about this, as this is going on, right? You hit me up, and I didn't understand your intention, so I was like, John, like, why are you bothering me when you can just ask the robots?
right.
And it took me looking at the PR to realize Codex had gone off the rails. You had spotted it, and we needed to bring it back to earth. And it's fascinating because I really do think Codex could not have created a more complex way to solve the problem, and also a less effective way, because the way that it implemented was not going to work.
Yep.
Right?
And it would like break actual tracking and stuff too.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the thing, right? Like, you have to be smart enough to analyze the work, and if you can't analyze the work, you shouldn't be using the tool. And that, I think, we've talked about this in the context of other uses of LLMs. I think it was good for you to experience this on the coding side, because this is the kind of crap that got me wrapped around the axle with Claude for about a week, right before I came up for air. And anytime, this is where I think the industry is at least on the software side. We want these things to be multipliers. If we invest in the right level and skill set, we will have the people to validate the work, right? To direct the work and to validate the work. You need people who can direct the work so that these LMs and whatnot know how to do the thing that we want done. And then you need people who can validate the work that has resulted to ensure that we can keep moving forward and we don't compromise quality or customer experience or whatever it is. And I would say that historically we have erred on the side of hiring and curating, growing code monkeys, right? And I'm saying that as someone who loves to be a code monkey. Like, if I could just do code monkey work every single day, I would be the happiest version of Stan Lemon that John Kohlmeyer's ever met, right?
And that has been true every time you've fallen into those couple weeks.
Every time I fall in those, yeah. But the industry is shifting to like direct the work, validate the work. But we've put these tools into the hands of people without getting that all sorted out. Right. And when you do that, and you in particular don't have that validate side of it, you wind up with Codex, for example, building a canonical link solution that is unnecessarily complex and just straight up does not work. So,
but I caught this, Stan.
You caught it. Right?
I couldn't tell you why it was wrong, but I knew it was wrong based on intuition.
And so that's fascinating. So what was it about it that caused you to want to ask for additional feedback?
So I think that just the sheer amount of like parsing it was doing for these URLs doesn't make any sense with what I know about SEO. right? Or how I've implemented SEO improvements across the board outside of code necessarily. So I think that I could sense that it was overly complex here, and it seemed off. So it's weird because it was all intuition. It's like, this doesn't seem right. I tried to push Codex back a couple times, and like at some point it said, yeah, this would be better if you spun it up on like Cloudflare or something like that, but and do it
Huh.
not on the front end. And it's like, so
I think I've mentioned this before. I've got a manager who told me treat the LLM as your meth head intern. Right.
nice.
I have to be reminded of that frequently because there are some times when I want to treat it like a really awesome executive business partner. Right. So a really awesome executive business partner will understand the gaps in your words and make magic on the other side. Right. I've seen this. I actually know an EVP who knows your next move. Like I kind of would love to see her play chess because I'm pretty sure she would destroy Watson. Right. Like
Does she
that's,
listen to the podcast?
I have no idea. I have no idea. Tati, if you're listening, I'm talking about you. So here's the thing, right? So the LLMs are not that person. And if you treat them like that person, you will be disappointed because the difference between a good assistant and an LLM is understanding intent, desire, and outcome.
Mm-hmm.
All an LLM can do is get instructions and execute on them, right? There's no realm there for nuance. There's no space to infer based upon the entire corpus of your existence.
Yep.
And
LLMs do not do well with ambiguity.
they don't do well with ambiguity. Whereas like an awesome EVP, right, will know how to overcome ambiguity and create success. Right. That's not an LLM. And I think this is where the term assistant, right, AI assistant, virtual assistant, whatever,
Sure.
is super misleading because they're not assistants. They cannot close that gap. I don't know. Maybe in our lifetime there will be some capability there. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know because there's something uniquely human about that too.
1,000%.
And like you've got to know when things don't fit in the normal algorithm as how you would normally process them, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So
Yep.
I don't know if we'll ever get there. It will be cool. It will probably involve like chips in people's brains or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. A chip in Toddy's brain, right? And then she can just like completely dominate the universe. 1,000%. 1,000%. All right.
I think the other thing that I want to talk about here is like we've got a bunch of really, really novice people playing with these tools and thinking, oh, cool, it can build this when they don't know what questions to have. They haven't spent the time banging their head against the wall, falling asleep, and waking up with an next idea to try at 2 a.m. Things like that. So I think that for those people who, can build a WordPress site and use the page builder to do it, write some CSS, maybe some simple JavaScript scripts, find something to continue to learn about software design, things like that. I thankfully have Stan Lemon, who I can ask things about and who will review my PRs and things like that.
The problem is you've got to give a little more clarity on like, hey, Stan, I'm asking a question versus, hey, I think the AI just went off the rails. Can you be the thing that like validates that they're off the rails?
I think it's like, hey, I think this is wrong. I know. We can do that better, but I'm like doing this at 5 in the morning. So
you didn't really lead with that, right? So if you were tracking the progression on this,
but like, what if it was right, Stan? I said, no, that looks fine.
So okay, you sent this message and I was like, all right, whatever. I don't have time for this.
But it was like 6 a.m. before I left for work.
It was not as clear as the LLMs have gotten a mind of their own. They've created crazy crap, and I need you to tell me it's crazy crap. Right? If you had said my intuition says this is totally wrong, I need a subject matter expert to validate it, I would have looked at it then. Instead, it was multiple hours later. I was bored, and I went to text you. I was like, oh, maybe I should look at that PR. That's absolutely the progression. And I opened the
That was fine
PR.
because I had to go to work.
But I opened up the PR and I was
And
like,
I didn't merge it into master, so
we should talk about that too. So I looked at the PR. I was like, sweet mother of pearl, what in the world are the robots doing? Right. And then we talked about it. So it was like a weird way to get there.
sure.
And the funny thing was later, I pushed something directly to master or whatever. And you're like, hey, why'd you do that? And I was like, because I was confident in the output. Right. So then you were asking me like, well, when do you merge to master or not? And I realized in that moment that, this had direct correlation to Codex going crazy.
Sure.
And I don't have good answers for you yet, but I will just tell you this. Since you asked that, my brain has been just like swirling around this idea. I don't know, man. Yeah. Here we go.
Always test and dev. Like,
Always test and dev. I find myself in moments like this, grateful for the robots, but also even more grateful that I'm not like a lawyer or a doctor using this technology because I think, I don't think we're there yet. Maybe Gemini 3 is the thing, but I don't think we're there yet.
Yeah. Anyways.
All right. We got one last topic.
Oh yeah. You made a new technology purchase.
I did.
Will shock everyone who knows you.
So just to rewind, I sent you a text about this a week and a half ago.
And I was not shocked.
Oh, you weren't. So that's what I wanted to know. Cause you gave me like zero feedback. Right. And
Did you text me during the workday?
I don't know. I don't remember what it was, but my MO is like, okay, I'm going to go do a thing. It's a little outside of my norm. Right.
Oh.
If Sarah thinks it's crazy, then I go to John, right? And I would say about, as far as like asking Sarah, is this crazy? It's about 50% of the time she says yes. Okay.
Right.
So then I go to John and we iterate from there. So Sarah thought I was joking when I said, hey, I'm thinking about buying a Windows PC. And I said, no, I really am. And we went through this cycle several times over the course of 2-3 days. Right. And finally I was like, okay, I gotta go to John, see what's going on. And I said to you that I was going to do this. And then you really didn't say anything. There was no feedback like, you're crazy. Your son's middle name is Mac. None of this, right? No questions as to why I would do this. And
again, my intuition tells me this makes sense. So
okay. All right. I have to understand why it makes sense because the notion of me buying a Windows PC, my daughter, my oldest child, pulls me aside and said, Dad, I'm so confused. Why did you do this thing? I don't understand what's wrong. And she talked to me like either I was dying of a terminal illness or like, this is what a midlife crisis looked like. And when she was done, my son goes through the same rigmarole, right? And his middle name is quite literally Mac. But Henry, to his credit, or maybe discredit, I'm not sure. Like that's for you, dear listener, to decide, says, okay, Dad, but if you're going to do that, can I play some Xbox games on it? Right.
Nice.
And Evelyn's like, what's wrong with your phone? Right. This is the progression through the household. And I ordered the thing. It came to the house. It arrives and everybody acts like, what is going on? Confusion. Right. As if I have completely changed in a heartbeat. Meanwhile, Henry's like, can I just play some games when you're done? Right.
Right.
Why were you not shocked? Why did it make sense?
So I think there's a couple things here. One, in your family responded the way they did because you are fully Mac household and have been for the kids' entire lives.
And passionately so, right? Like I look down upon you Android people.
Right.
So if Dan Ches is listening, did you hear that?
I think Dan Ches has an iPhone now. So.
Oh, really? Oh, well,
Maybe?
welcome to the
iPad.
fan.
Well, I don't remember.
Dan Ches, if you're listening, you got an iPhone, welcome to the fan. All right.
So there's that. Like I work on a Windows laptop every work day. unfortunately, but it's what I do. So there's that. I think the other part of this is we've been talking on a fairly regular cadence for nearly 20 years now. So Sarah has been talking to you longer, but I think there are times when I know you better than you know yourself. Specifically when you're trying to present yourself as something, which I know that's not what Stan actually really thinks. So I know at your core, you love technology and playing with it. You are a starship engineer. You want to take things apart. You want to see how they work, things like that. So I think all of those, like, yeah, that makes sense. And like, you've got no problem buying another device, and like when you're done, you'll get rid of it.
I'll get rid of it. Yeah, not a big deal.
You did this with Android phones when you were testing out iOS app.
I did. Yeah, that's true. Way back in the day. Yeah, you're spot on. So there's actually an event that precipitated this, which was a little bit of nostalgia. I find as I get older, I get a little more nostalgic. You've accused me of being nostalgic in the past, and I've denied it, but you've been absolutely right.
Like I said, sometimes I think I know you better than you know yourself.
Well, there you go. There you go. So I started coding. Well, all right. Technically, I started coding on one of the original iMacs in like the gel colored ones. Yeah. In the library in my elementary school in 4th grade. Right.
Man, do you remember how big those things were?
They weren't that big
compared to what you use now.
No, okay, like the whole device, but the screen itself was like a 12.1 CRT or something like that. Yeah. No, it was a big device. It was a huge device. And the crazy thing was it had that little handle in the back, right? So you could put it up. Yeah.
Like you would move it around.
Because you're gonna carry this thing somewhere. I don't know. That was technically the first time I experimented with a website. And I did a bunch of like website stuff thereafter on a variety of computers. The first time that I wrote code to write software, in my opinion, right, was actually on a 14-inch Hewlett Packard HP laptop that had an AMD Athlon 4 processor in it.
Nice.
And I had bought it in between my sophomore and junior year of high school. Right, I bought it myself. And that was a workhorse for me for 3 or 4 years. I wrote an absolute ton of code.
You wrote a grading or attendance thing for your high school, didn't you? Yeah.
We did some grading software. We did a bulletin board thing. We did some curriculum website management and a lot of that, not the gradebook software. That was mostly Eric writing that part, but the content management stuff I all did on this laptop. And I really I look back and that was where I learned how to be a coder, right? It was very different than the stuff I do now because the whole industry has evolved, but that's where I learned how to do it. And it was more than that too. It was also like, how do I manage ops stuff, installing PHP, configuring Apache, like running all of MySQL, right?
Doing your dev environment to actually function.
All of it, right? Learning database stuff. All of that was done on that laptop. And a few weeks back, I don't even remember what the sequence was that came up in a conversation. And I was describing this laptop and I realized the fondness with which I was describing, right? AMD Athlon, it was their mobile processor was a 4. If you remember back in these days, there was like a war between Intel and AMD. And some people thought Intel was ahead. Some people thought AMD was ahead. The Pentium 4 at the time was wicked fast, but unstable. So it was very, it was just a known thing that was going to crash, right? AMD also had better thermals, the thermal profile, right, on the mobile side in particular, which was huge back then because you unplug your laptop and you're like, I got an hour, right?
Yep.
This laptop though also had a DVD read drive.
Nice.
And it had a floppy drive.
Yep.
Okay. It was about an inch thick, so it was relatively thin. So this was like the dream machine. And I agonized over finding this thing forever before I bought it. I cannot find any history of this computer existing. Okay. I've hit up the LLMs. I have done Google. I've spent time on eBay. I can't find it. And it fascinates me that I can't find it. Because I think back then, and I could be wrong about this, but I think that the number of laptops available, like the permutations, were a little more flexible or a little more variable than they are today.
Sure.
Because I installed a Wi-Fi like slide-in thing on this.
Oh yeah,
right?
absolutely. They had those extension slots or whatever.
Yep, extension slots. And I also remember upgrading the memory in this, and I might have increased the hard drive size too, right? So this is like way back then. Like computing was just different.
Yep. You can still increase memory in some laptops.
in
You should
some.
see if you can do it in yours.
No, cannot. It's all soldered to the base, man. Oh, you talking about the new Lenovo?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
We know that. We all know that Apple doesn't want you.
Yeah, Apple doesn't do that. Yeah, sorry. Lost the plot line. So, thinking on this, I realized that I have no idea how Windows 11 works, right?
Yeah.
And pretty sure I don't even know how to navigate it. This is one progression. There's another progression, I thought, which is I meet my old manager from Salesforce, Rob, I don't know, a month and a half ago or something like that. We go out, have dinner, a couple drinks, we just talk, catch up. And he shocks me by telling me that he's all in on Windows because of the Windows Subsystem Linux, WSL. Have you used WSL?
I'm not.
Okay.
I should. I don't do a lot of development at work, but
okay. So this is fascinating to me, right? Like Windows ships with a working Linux subsystem.
Yep.
And then I got to ask myself, like, if I had Linux on a Windows laptop, what would work, what wouldn't, right?
Okay.
And I didn't know the answer. I don't know how to validate the answer. Now that Apple's all ARM64 based, right? The options to emulate are pretty limited. Boot Camp is gone. You remember Boot Camp?
I remember Boot Camp.
Yeah,
Used
Boot
it for a
Camp.
while.
I did too. It was great, right? Like you could run Windows on literally the best Windows PC available at the time. We're so past that. So I don't know how Windows acts, and I got curious. It is 1,000%. I don't know how to use that piece of hardware, and I want to understand it.
Yep.
I am 4 days into this experiment. Pretty confident that I am not going to give up on my beloved Mac. Pretty sure that Mac is still the best. But I've learned something, and I'm going to continue
for what you do.
Especially for what I do, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know, man. Like this is the thing, right? Maybe WSL lets me do the
What
thing
you do anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, and if we pull up Antigravity, then it's like
could be, right? So what are the first things I installed on my Windows laptop? ChatGPT, Visual Studio Code, Docker, right? Then I installed Ubuntu.
Okay.
For the Windows Subsystem Linux, right?
Sure.
So those are the tools I use on my laptop right now, right? Those are the big three.
Interesting. You should try to do something in PowerShell.
I mean, you're basically working in PowerShell to get to WSL. Okay. Right? So that's the thing. That's the thing.
So you just pull that up and then interesting.
Yeah.
I'll have to try this out.
Yeah, you should. It's fascinating.
I wonder if I can try this out. I probably can't try this out on my work laptop.
If they don't let you run WSL, you should just get a new job.
We'll see.
It's so far it's been very educational, which was my goal, right?
So you design APIs, as anyone who's seen your APIs and pizza videos will know. How much of that plays into this? Like, are the people who are using your product working in Windows environments at all? Do you know?
Oh, I'm sure they are. They are. Windows has too much penetration for it to not be the case. And I wouldn't say that was like necessarily motivating here in terms of like people on Windows are using my APIs, but the through line on all the API pizza videos is I care about customer experience, right? And I have a huge glaring gap in my understanding of computing's customer experience. And I just want to fill that gap. I want to understand it. And so this is not like I'm going to use it every day kind of thing, but I have it. I'm going to try it out. Now, I will tell you, I agonized a little bit over what model to buy, as one would do.
This also does not surprise me.
Yeah. So wanted an SSD. I wanted a certain amount of memory. I wanted a certain processor. Cool. That's all fine. Here's the other thing that I wanted. I wanted two things that Apple will not give me yet. Do you know what they are?
I don't.
I wanted an OLED screen and I wanted a touch screen.
Interesting. Okay.
Because I don't know, like, it's not just a matter of me not knowing how Windows works. I've not used a laptop computer with an OLED display. I've not used a laptop computer with a touch display. I've used OLED on my phone, and I am so solidly OLED till death. And my iPad now is OLED too, right? But my Mac, they won't give it to me. And so I wanted to see that. I wanted to feel that. I wanted to experience that. And I'll be honest with you, like, that is noticeably cool. Like
Nice.
I use my PowerShell window is black, right? And those pixels are just straight up off. It's a beautiful display. The touch display thing, I am struggling to embrace because I instinctively don't do it, right?
Right.
But this is also part of the thing. I want to learn. I want to try something new. So
Interesting. Well, we'll have to get an update on this at some point. Maybe you can commit to doing all of our Firefly rewatch podcast work on that.
there right now, that's an interesting idea. You know, I don't think I've used the webcam on this thing yet. So,
Okay.
I have no idea. I mean, we should try it, John. Why not? Oh,
We should.
that reminds me. You probably at work don't use Windows Link, do you?
We do not.
Okay, are you familiar with Windows Link?
Vaguely, yes.
This thing is cool and clever, right? So this is the kind of feature that tells me the folks at Microsoft are doing scrappy work to solve customer needs in a way that I don't normally attribute to Microsoft. So here's the deal. Windows Link, you install it on your iPhone, and on your Windows PC, you get access to calls, iMessages, and calendar, a few other things, right? So think about this. You can iMessage from your Windows PC.
Yep.
How, John? How does that work?
Steve Jobs would not like this.
He would not like this. But how does Microsoft pull this off? I've known that this thing existed, and I haven't understood it until I tried it. You ready for this?
Interesting.
I
Yeah.
think we should do a drum roll. They treat the Windows laptop like a car. And so if you've ever used a car HUD, right? Not CarPlay, but car HUD, where you get a message or you sync your contacts and you respond to a message using just the car interface.
Mm-hmm.
They basically turned the Windows laptop into a car, and they use all of those protocols and APIs with an experience on your laptop. It's ridiculous, right? But it's
fascinating. That's great.
It's so freaking scrappy and cool that when I saw it, I was like, I would never use this, but this is really, really ingenious.
Yep.
And it gave me a little bit of appreciation, right, for what they're trying to do. Yeah, and I can't even believe I'm saying that. Like I'm gonna have to pinch myself here. That I'm yeah. What a world.
I don't even know where to go from here, Stan.
No, there's no way to go, right? So I basically I've broken everybody's perceptions of me. We should just wrap it up.
Wrap it up
On that note. Yeah.
Until next time.
Yeah, this is going to drop right before Thanksgiving. We'll talk about Thanksgiving afterwards, and we will make sure to discuss pie, because I think pie is the most important part of Thanksgiving.
I do love pie.
I love pie. Pie's great. All right, Jonathan. As always, it's been a pleasure. May the AI robots who lord over us all be kind to you in the coming week.
And to you, Stanley.
All right. See you, my friend.
Later.
Until next time.
That's a wrap, yo. Time to unplug. Stan and John just served that mug. Twist of lemon, sharp and clean. Truth and tech on your podcast screen. Catch us next time. Don't let it slip. Wisdom packed in